Greetings to all of you. This is Raiza Guantea, your reporter for this day. So, let's start this report with a prayer. Okay? Okay. Please bow our head and feel the presence of God. Lord, help us in our class today. Give us concentration so that may we listen, understand, learn, and have a peaceful mind, and may we always remember that you, our God, is always with us. Amen. Alright, so let's start. Are you guys ready? I'm going to discuss about morphemes, a meaningful morphological unit of a language that cannot be further divided. When we say morphemes, we can't be further divided it because its function is to form the structure of a word. For example, the word incoming formed by the three morphemes in, the prefix, next is the root word come, and lastly, ing as the suffix. Catch? Alright. Take note that morpheme is a short segment of language that meets three basic criteria. The first one is, it is a word or a part of a word that has meaning. It says in the first criteria that morpheme can be a word or just a part of a word that should have a meaning. Okay? Okay. Next criteria is, it cannot be divided into smaller meaningful segments without changing its meaning or leaving a meaningless remainder. Like what I said earlier, we cannot divide a morpheme without changing its meaning or leaving an affixes, because its function is to combine to form a word. Lastly is, it has relatively the same stable meaning in different verbal environments. Based on my understanding, if I'm not mistaken, the third criteria tells that it has generally similar stable meaning with other various verbs. And that's all the three basic criteria of a morpheme that we should always remember. Okay? Now let's move on. There are two types of morphemes: the free and bound morphemes. The question is, how can we differentiate the free and bound morphemes? When we say free morphemes, from the word free, that's synonymous to the word independence, it means it can stand alone with a specific meaning. Some examples of these are it, send, and weak. Unlike free morphemes, when we say bound morphemes, it cannot stand alone with meaning, like these following affixes. Did you know that morphemes are comprised of two separate classes called bases or roots and affixes? So, let's look further about these two, bases or root words. It is a morpheme in a word that gives the word its principal meaning or the content word. It can be free or bound morpheme. To be clear, let me give you examples. An example of a free base morpheme is woman in the word womanly. The word woman gives the principal meaning combined with the suffix ly to form the word womanly. Next is, an example of a bound base morpheme is sent in the word descent. In this case, the word sent gives the principal meaning combined with the prefix dis to form the word descent. Now, let's talk about affixes. An affix is a bound morpheme that occurs before or after a base. An affix that comes before a base is called a prefix. These are the examples of prefixes as used in the words antedate, prehistoric, unhealthy, and disregard. While an affix that comes after a base is called a suffix. These are some examples of suffixes as used in the words happily, gardener, capitalism, and kindness. And that was just a little preview about affixes. The next reporter will discuss more about the topic, including derivational and inflectional, to understand deeper about affixes. To complete my discussion about morpheme, let us take a look in this chart that shows the proper construction of a word using morphemes. So before I end this report, let's do a recap. Again, the two types of morphemes are free and bound. Remember that free morpheme can stand alone while bound morpheme cannot. Alright? Take note also the two classes of morpheme, the root or base and affixes. The root word or base is the content word and the affixes has two types. The prefix that occurs before the base and the suffix that occurs after the base. Catch? And that was all for today. I hope you learned something from this video. If you have questions, clarifications, or suggestions, don't hesitate to drop it in our chat room. Okay? Okay. Thanks for watching until the end. Bye!